Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, Savoring Seasons. I'm Amy and I thought I would make a video for you guys on easy breakfasts that you can do on busy mornings for us, specifically when we have homeschool things going on. So I will put the recipe all in the description box for you guys if you want any of them, and I hope you enjoy cooking with us. Something we have a lot of is baked oatmeal. I'll often make it the night before and stick it in the fridge, and then I'll just cook it in the morning. A 9x13 pan will often feed our whole family. I have a base recipe, and then I just add in whatever we're feeling like or whatever's in the house. I've added to this oats, our homemade brown sugar, and today I'm using walnuts. And I'm also throwing everything into one dish because I will mix it in there, and then there's very little dishes. I know I've mentioned this before, but we use Redmond's real salt in just about all of our cooking and baking. It's a salt that is not as processed, so it still has a lot of the minerals in it, and it is not white. I'll put a link in the description where you can find that. We also use Ceylon cinnamon. The container I'm using says Saigon, but we actually just reuse the container. I just buy Ceylon cinnamon, and that's the kind of cinnamon that contains the antioxidants and helps fight cancer and that sort of thing. But I will say that it is not as strong. It's kind of milder, at least in my opinion it is. And now we are adding eggs and vanilla. And like I said, I'm just mixing it right in the pan because this makes for a much easier cleanup. I love this 9x13 Pyrex dish I have. It comes with a lid, so I just put the lid on and I stick it in the fridge until the next morning. And then the next day, I turn the oven on to 350, and then if I'm gonna add any berries or any kind of thing, this is when I would do it now. I don't let that sit in the fridge overnight. I'm just putting it on about half because some of my kids don't care for warmed berries, and then I am gonna put this in the oven until it is cooked through, and I think this one took about 30 minutes or 40 minutes, but it's really nice. It's in the oven and it's cooking while you're getting other things ready for the day. Probably the thing we eat the most of is plain oatmeal, and I know you're probably wondering, like, everyone knows how to make plain oatmeal, but there's a lot of people who seem to think, like, how will your kids eat plain oatmeal every single day? And really it is because I offer a lot of add-ins. So I make oatmeal. Sometimes I'll add in ground flax or hemp seeds or cinnamon or whatever I have in the house. If I'm really organized, I will actually soak my oats. If you soak them the night before, it actually breaks down the phytic acid and it is better, easily absorbed in your system. Anyways, I put out peanut butter, which we get from Azure Standard, bananas, maple syrup, sunflower seeds. What else do we have? Honey, walnuts, and here I set the hemp hearts out to the side, and pumpkin seeds, and then the cinnamon, and I just let the kids help themselves. And pretty much all the bulk items you see here that I buy, I get them from Azure Standard, so I'll put a link to that down below if you're interested in checking it out. Okay, probably one of my kids' favorite ways to have eggs is to have green eggs. So I put a bunch of eggs in the blender and then I just add some greens. And I have done this with spinach, with salad greens, literally any kind of greens. Kale, the kids love it when they have green eggs for breakfast. You have to butter a pan pretty generously because these tend to stick. Oops, I have a leaf that didn't get blended. I'll have to pick that out. And then I usually just grate a little bit of cheese on it and add a little bit of seasoning salt. And if you've never tried it, make homemade seasoning salt. It is so simple and so much better for you because it doesn't have any strange additives that you can often find in seasoning salts bought from the store. Now we often have a variety of things with green eggs, sometimes toast, sometimes hash browns, but today I am making some sausage and a smoothie. This is a quick way to get the kids to eat things that they don't really want to eat. So I added ground flax to this, and I also added some greens, some berries, and some yogurt. It's our homemade yogurt, and there's a video down in the description box to that. Now in the springtime, one of our favorite things to make when the chickens are laying a lot of eggs is a Dutch pancake, or also known as a Dutch baby, or all kinds of things. I save my shells and all my scraps from my chickens in this bucket. I stick it under the sink and then I bring it out to them so that they can eat our scraps. So I make this recipe in a blender, and I've tried not using a blender, but it's really hard not to get flour lumps, and it makes your Dutch pancakes kind of gross. So it's best to put it in a blender. Then I melt the butter in all the pans and pour the mixture into the pans once the pans are hot. The reason I use 4 pans is because you actually don't want to put very much in the pan. It wants to be pretty thin so it actually puffs up. Otherwise it's kind of a thick, dense, not so tasty thing. The girls love to sit in front of the oven and watch the eggs puff up. One of our favorite breakfasts to make when we're on the go is called an egg taco. This breakfast is so good if you have to leave the house, or if you're feeding it to a little one who has a hard time keeping things inside of a tortilla shell. You can make tortillas at home, or you can purchase them, whatever your family prefers. I just mix up an egg, put it in the pan, and then when the egg starts to cook just a little bit, I put the tortilla directly on the egg. And what that does is it makes the egg stick to the tortilla shell, and it's much easier for kids to eat. The egg doesn't fall out. Now this breakfast is a little more time consuming because you have to stand at the stove, but I usually have 2 pans going, and it really doesn't take that long, and it really saves me, especially if we're going somewhere. And you can put on this whatever you like. Sometimes my girls like our homemade ketchup, sometimes cheese, sometimes salsa, and sour cream. Just depends on the child and their preference. But I will say, if we are taking these to go, I don't allow things like ketchup and salsa because those will fall out and make quite a mess.